Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Now today we're going to have a look at a brand new steering wheel from Grid Engineering. This is the Grid Engineering MPX. Now I've been super excited to do this video. I've been using this wheel all week and it's incredible. Now let me grab it and I'll show you it first of all and I'll give you some information. So I'm doing it from the rig because the lighting's a bit better and you want a good look at the wheel rim, don't you? So this is the Grid Engineering MPX. So it's a 295mm steering wheel. It's got 11 rotary encoders and 17 buttons. But it's got 87 RGB LEDs which are controllable in SimHub to give you all that information on there in relation to what the car's doing. Now, before we get cracking, the necessary disclaimer. So Grid by SimLab sent me this wheel for free. I haven't paid for it, although they don't see this video before it's published. They've got no input at all regarding production and they've got no influence in relation to what I say. And also, I will say again that this isn't a review by definition. This is a sim racer taking a look at a product as if I was going to buy it and giving you my feedback. So when I'm going to buy a product, there are four things that I'm interested in. Firstly, what does it look like? If it doesn't look right, well, I'm not going to buy it. Secondly, what's the build quality like and general feel? Thirdly, how does it perform? And finally, is it value for money? So let's dive in a little bit deeper then. So as you can see, we have got 11 rotary encoders. So there's one there, then we've got 5 in the middle, and then we've got 4. We've got 2 on either side. But these 2 top encoders, these are also funky switches, both of them. So we've got 2 funky switches. We've got 17 buttons, but you might only be able to count 15 on there. So all of these push as well. All of these encoders, they all push, apart from these side ones here, they don't. So there's 15 on the front, but it's got 2 auto P9 buttons on the back there that you might see. There's one there, and then there's one on that side there. Really handy, those. I found those really useful. So it's got more controls, buttons, encoders than you can shake a stick at. Goodbye button box. But it's also full of RGB LEDs, which I also found really useful. So it's made of aluminium. Obviously it's got a carbon fiber front plate there, but the actual wheel itself is made from aluminium. And as you can see, very nice indeed. So the paddles, fully adjustable, as you can see. Hopefully you can see on there. Trying to bring it in a bit closer. And then it's got the dual clutch on the bottom. And then there's these rotary encoders on the inside there. And one USB plug on the back there, as you can see. Although, with all of the RGB LEDs, this thing needs power. And it comes with a small connector block that you attach to your aluminium profile rig or whatever, and that has a USB port on the back and power. And then on the other side, there's one USB cable comes from there to the wheel rim. I really like that. So the USB cable that you get, as you can see here, is just long enough. That's attached to my rig. So no need for any more USB extensions. It just goes straight to that port, which is on my rig. So this works with SimHub at the moment, but Grid are introducing their own software, which should make life a lot easier. Even though using it in SimHub is actually quite easy, and I've set up my own profile, and I'll show you that in action very shortly. But they're bringing out their own software, so everything will be controllable within that software, and there'll be a graphical representation of the wheel, which buttons are which, and then you can just click change whatever you see fit. So that's really exciting. It comes with a 70mm PCB with a 50mm spacer already attached. Very nice. The grips are like the injected molded rubbery type grips. Sorry, this wheel is a little bit manky at the moment because I've been using it all week, so there are marks all over it from my little pig trotters. But these are really, really nice. They're not too thick, really quite grippy. I do like those. I'd much rather have this type all day long over the Alcantara. So in the box, you get the wheel rim. So it comes like this. You don't have to build anything up or put the spacer on. This is how it comes. You get the power cable. You get a USB cable. You get the little port that the power cable and USB cable plugs into. You get a sticker set. And I've got to mention the packaging again from Grid by SimLab. Exceptional. So let's go into the categories. So first of all, looks. What do you reckon? I'm a big fan. I really like the way it looks. It is beautiful. It is stunning. But it looks quite understated until we actually plug it in. Looks wise, I think it's really nice and symmetrical. It looks even better when it's plugged in. Then you've got some RGBs on the front. But as far as looks goes, I think it's a winner. I really, really do. I absolutely love the way it looks. So for me, a big thumbs up. Now on to build quality. Well, I've tested quite a few things in the last few weeks from Grid by SimLab, and build quality has been absolutely exceptional. And this is no different. It really, really is exceptional. Now I'll try and give you some close-up pictures there that you can see. I mean, I know that this has been sent to me by Grid, and if I was a company or a brand, I would send out the best of the best, knowing that it was going to be on YouTube. I genuinely believe that this is what you're going to get. I don't think that this is a better product than any other one. I think this is it. So build quality is off the scale. I'll show you the back. You tell me if you can see anything wrong with it, because I can't. Absolutely stunning. Now, I've got to mention the encoders, right? You know what it's like sometimes? You get a steering wheel and the encoder's a little bit loose. That's one of the things that I liked about the VPG wheels, is the encoders were automotive grade. And these have got to be some of the best encoders that I've ever had the pleasure of turning. I shouldn't get excited about that, but I do. It's the same with these ones on the side. You're not going to turn these by mistake. Every single one. These are a bit looser on the top, but there's a definite click with the rotary encoders. Some of the best encoders I've ever felt. The buttons as well. Like really good. So nice to press. And these rear auto P9 buttons, again, such a nice feel for those buttons. Really, really good. So build quality and general feel, exceptional. Paddles, I don't know if the microphone's going to pick it up. Just pick it up. They're not too loud at all. I've got a Cube Controls wheel in there. That drives me insane. Click, click, click. This is nice and quiet. And I don't think when it's over there, you can just hear it just. Yeah, so you can't hear it on my microphone, which is really important to me as a content creator. The last thing I want is click, click, click in the background. So build quality, general feel, absolutely brilliant. Now, thirdly, we'll talk about performance. Now, I've got to say that ergonomically, this is probably the best wheel rim that I've ever used. It just feels absolutely perfect in hand. It really does. The way your hands mold to the grip, the way the paddles are positioned, the button layout on the front, brilliant. These bottom encoders aren't that easy to get to when you're driving, but you would just literally move your hand down a little bit, and obviously you've got to take your hand off to adjust these encoders here. But within reach, you've got these top encoders, and then you've got these two thumb encoders there. Then you've got another 7, if you wanted to, which are within easy reach. It performed brilliantly. Now, the dual clutch on the back, I'll talk about that really quickly. To adjust the dual clutch, you've got to pull the left side paddle in, and then you hold this button there. And then while you're holding those two buttons, it's much easier when it's on the rig. You hold those two buttons, so left paddle with your finger, press that button, and then you actually use this encoder here. Hopefully you can see that. Use that encoder there to adjust the bite point of the dual clutch. Really easy, and it works. I tested it in the Porsche Cup car yesterday. Really easy, works flawlessly, perfect. So performance-wise, I really can't fault it. I set up my own profile on SimHub, which again I will show you very, very shortly. And I set up what was important to me, and that is flags, spotter, an RPM limiter, indicator, low fuel warning. That's it really. That's all I wanted. And those visual cues definitely help me. I've mentioned before that I've got a wheel with a dashboard on, and I don't look at the dashboard as much as I thought I would. I really don't. To me, in front of us, that's just the RPM lights and telling me what gear I'm in. The rest of it, I don't really pay that much attention to it because I have all that information on screen. I don't really use it as much as I thought. And those guys out there that have got a steering wheel with a screen on, I'm sure you'll agree, you don't use it as much as you would think. So the colours, the visual cues, I find much more useful. Now, I'll plug this in now and I'll show you how I've got it set up in SimHub. Now, let's get all romantic, shall we? I'll turn some lights off. There we go. Right. Ooh. Right. Change the scene really quickly. I'll put this on. There we go. So this is the test editor in SimHub. Now, this is how I've got my wheel set up now. So it looks a little bit different, right? Now you've got colours on. So I've just got my blue colour. The colours that you can see on screen there, they probably aren't a true reflection of the colours in real life because my camera's not the best. But you can see the quality of the RGBs there on the wheel. Right, I'll show you some of the effects that I've got set up. So firstly, RPM red line reach. So I've set it up so these three encoders here flash. Let me see. There we go. There we go. So that's a bright red colour. Again, it's not going to come through as well on the camera, but that's a bright red colour. We'll turn that off. Next, pit limiter on. Hopefully you can see that actually moving there. Yeah, you can just about see it there. Yeah, so that's, you can see it a bit better there. So that's what it's like when I've got my pit limiter on. I don't have ABS or anything like that set up. So black flag, if I get a penalty, the two top right buttons will flash. So if I get a penalty, like I've got to drive through or something, I've got it set up so those two flash. Not that I'll need that because I will know. Yellow flag. That flashes yellow. Then we've got white flag. So the center ones will just stay white. So I haven't put those on to flash, but they just stay white. Blue flag. So you can see these, they are a shade of blue, but it's quite a light blue. I'll put blue flag on. So I've just used a darker shade of blue there just to give me an indicator that it's a blue flag. And then lastly, green flag at the start of the race. There we go. Nice green flag. And then we've got spotters, car left. And then spotter, car right. That's how I have mine set up. But obviously, you can pick whichever colour you want. Now, I'll try and load up a profile. Profiles manager. I'll just load a profile that comes with the wheel. See all of the different colours that you can have and more. Now, I will simulate an engine start. Loaded my profile back up. That's the engine starting. Then that's it when it's running. So as you can see, with the RGBs activated and running in SimHub, it's a completely different animal. Put the lights back on now. I know you're missing my beautiful face. So performance-wise, I really can't knock it at all. I think it performs exceptionally. It really does. So finally, let's talk about price and value for money. So right now, there's a special pre-order price until the 25th of January. And to pre-order this, it's $875 US or 999 euros. Now, I've just gone onto the website and it was saying, I think it was £880. Then when I've gone through to buy it with shipping, it was $760, although I might have to pay import tax at this side. So that's what the pre-order price is. After the pre-order price, this will be $1,049 US or 1,199 euros. Probably similar amount in pounds. So you're probably going to save a couple hundred euros, a couple $100, a couple £100 by pre-ordering this wheel. Do I think it's worth it? It's a lot of money. As I always say, nice things don't come cheap. They really don't. If you want things like this, well, unfortunately, you've got to put your hand in your pocket. I think it's worth the money. I think it's definitely worth the money. I've owned some nice wheel rims in my time. I've had the Gomez wheel. I've had the Rexing wheels. I've got the VPG wheels. This, if I get to keep it, I hope, fingers crossed, I hope I get to keep it. But if I do, this is going to be my daily driver. This is what I will use day in, day out. So I think it's worth it. Would I buy it? It's difficult because I've got so much invested in a wheel rim that I already have. If I didn't have the VPG wheel rim and the investment in that, then absolutely 100% I would buy it. And actually thinking about it, I think I would probably buy this as well, to be honest. I prefer this one. I do prefer this one. I just think ergonomically it fits me a bit better. Yes, it's expensive, and value for money is always a subjective matter, and it depends how deep your pockets are. But this is a high-end product. We're talking about a premium steering wheel for your sim racing cockpit. This isn't a cheap toy, right? This isn't a cheap toy. And people might look at these RGB LEDs and say, oh, it's just a gimmick. It really isn't. It really isn't. I said a few months ago when I tested a wheel by VPG which had the telemetry RGBs on there, that was the future. And lo and behold, I mean, I'm sure this has been in development for a longer period of time, but there's another wheel with RGB LEDs displaying the telemetry from the simulator. That's the way it's going. So let's summarize. Onto looks. I really like the way it looks. I think it's subtle, understated, or it can be as extravagant as you want to go with the RGB LEDs. Build quality, honestly, top notch, really, really good. Grid engineering have knocked it out the park once again. Performance, flawless, genuinely flawless. The force feedback was really nice and strong. The ergonomics of the wheel are brilliant, really good. Honestly, the encoders are some of the best encoders that I've ever put my fingers on ever. Oh, I meant to show you when you actually, oh, there we go. I meant to show you that actually when you turn the encoders up, it's green, down that way. And then same with these, you get a nice little, oh, look, it's going down and then up. There we go. They're all different colors. You can configure all these within SimHub. Sorry, I meant to show you that earlier on. Let's do the last one. There we go. So yeah, so it's all configurable. It performed brilliantly. It really did. I've got absolutely nothing to complain about. I've tried to find something that I wasn't particularly keen on, and I can't. And finally, price. It's expensive, but all good things are expensive. You get what you pay for at the end of the day. It is expensive. But I don't think I would hesitate for too long buying this wheel rim. And obviously, there's the pre-order price right now. I think if you're considering it, you'll kick yourself if you miss out on that extra $200 reduction. So price-wise, value for money, I think it's where it should be. It's a premium product. So I'll leave links down below in the description. You can go and check it out, have a look, and see what you think. Read up a little bit more. Obviously, do your homework. Decide if this is the wheel rim for you. But I would highly recommend this wheel rim to anybody, and I genuinely think it would complement any sim rig anywhere. Now, there will be links down below, one of which is an affiliate link, whereby if somebody buys one of these wheels using that link, I will get a very, very small commission. That all helps keep the lights on and the wheels turning. But I will leave another link there, a non-affiliated link, which goes to exactly the same place, so it doesn't cost you any more, whichever link you want to use. But one of those, the top one, which will be the affiliate link, I'll get a small kickback. The bottom one, I won't. Use whichever one you're most comfortable with. So I want to say a massive thank you to Grid by SimLab for sending me this. It's a really, really nice product. I got my hands on this at the SimRacing Expo. I spoke to Brandon from Grid. I got my hands on this at the SimRacing Expo, and I've been super excited to try it ever since. So genuinely, thank you so much for putting your trust in me and sending me your product early. So there we go. The Grid by SimLab MPX gets a huge thumbs up from me on all the 4 categories that I'm interested in as a sim racing consumer. As always, thanks for watching. See you later. Cheers.